Okay. Here we are. So, this is something geared toward anybody who plays D&D or anybody who hasn't played D&D and wants to play D&D. Whatever. Mainly, though, my players are characters that are going to come together this year and do some questing, some campaigning, some high adventuring. Last year, our characters, as you can see here on the map, were in the Neverwinter Wood area. They were from the Neverwinter area, and they traveled down the high road and over here into Phandalin, where they found adventure and the lost mines of Phandelver. They destroyed a orc. Actually, I think it was some goblins first of all up here in the Neverwinter Wood area. Then some orc caves that they took care of. They spoke with a banshee. They found the lost mines. They um, destroyed an evil wizard who was actually a lord, or at least associated with the lords of Waterdeep. They became the heroes of Phandalin and are held in high respect there now. Um, they rescued a prisoner from the orcs named Sarah, who invited them to her home in Tribor. If they ever want to come visit there, I'm sure that people would love them there as well for rescuing their friend and family member. And as you can see here, this is just a very small area on the Sword Coast of the Forgotten Realms world. And I want to expand this year. I want to do more with the world, and um, whether the characters do some traveling or we have multiple characters and multiple campaigns. Um, but Neverwinter is something all its own. I mean, Neverwinter. Let me show you the map of Neverwinter real quick here. Um, so here's Neverwinter. I mean, this is an amazing city on its own. Neverwinter was destroyed by Mount Hotenau when it erupted. Um, it actually erupted. It's a volcano, but it's not a normal volcano. Okay, the magma, the heart of this volcano, is actually a god. It is an elder god. Of fire. Um, I can't remember the word for it now. But it shall come to me. Um, anyway, this map is huge, as you can see. We have a fissure here. This was opened up during the earthquake that was caused by the volcano when it erupted. But over the years, maybe even decades or centuries, I'm not sure how long it's been since that happened, but there were rifts to other dimensions, to other worlds that were opened up in the bottom of this fissure, and just magical energies that were released. Demons and astral creatures coming through. Basically, it was a very dangerous area of the city. So when they started rebuilding, um, that was an area that they defended themselves against and kept out of. Adventurers were sent in to fight the hordes of bad guys that were coming out of this rift. Um, it is rumored to be sealed now by the Lord of Neverwinter, um, Lord Neverember. However, some say that it's not quite safe yet. So adventurers are definitely needed, mercenaries to go in and help with getting rid of the rest of the bad guys and exploring the crevice to make sure that there aren't any other magical gateways to other worlds. Now, I mean, there's adventure galore just within the city. But of course, we're not going to go there. We have other things to worry about, like the lands beyond Neverwinter. Let's see. Um, Here you go. Here's Mount Hotanal that erupted and destroyed Neverwinter, and a lot of this area. It actually shot this direction, almost as if it was aimed toward Neverwinter. And actually, I think it was. It didn't erupt on its own. I mean, it was um, this god of fire was actually held in this container that in this mountain. It was contained by water elementals, actually keeping it at bay. And when this lever was pulled, these water elementals were released from their duty, basically. They got out of there, and that thing erupted. So, as you can see here, the Sword Mountain area with the Mirror of Dead Men. We got Luskan up here, a really interesting city, as it is secretly ran by Dark Elves. Specifically, a band of Dark Elves called Brigand Earth from the city of Dark Elves, Menzoberranzan. Now, Brigand Earth is a mercenary band led by Jarlaxle, who is pretty much a good guy. He's not evil, but he's not lawful good either. He's more like chaotic good. I don't even know, actually. It's hard to say, because he doesn't lie. He sometimes finds his way around the truth, but he's faithful to his friends. That I know. He is really cool. You'll have to read about him in the Dark Elf series with Drist Doerdan. We got a lot of stuff going on. We got Gauntlgrim. Gauntlgrim was recently taken back by the dwarves. Brunner Battlehammer of the Battlehammer Dwarves, Mithril Hall, Icewind Dale. He found Gauntlgrim after searching for centuries. I mean, that was his life's dream, was to find Gauntlgrim and reopen the hall and relight the forges, which is amazing. These forges at this dwarven hall are so powerfully magical. I mean, they can create super powerful items, especially crafted out of the mithril and the adamantium that these dwarves can create. I mean, it's amazing. It's forge is also fired by this, or powered by this fiery god in Mount Hotanal. It's ridiculous. The Sword Mountains. Let's go back down here. Sword Mountains. All right, we have more than just the Sword Mountains. We have North Sword Mountains and South Sword Mountains. We've got Thornhold, a ruined keep down here, and that's another story. There's some stuff going on there. That actually, in the last book that I read by R.A. Salvatore, there's some stuff happening there that I'm not too happy with. They left me in the dark, left me hanging, where one of my favorite characters may be dead there. I don't like that. Anyway, the Evermoors. Oh, look at the Evermoors. Evermoors is a giant swamp, basically. A bog of trolls. I mean, it's also known as the Troll Moors because of that. Actually, the adventurers, the heroes of the Dark Elf series, made their way through the Evermoors one time on foot, just dragging each other through there, fighting thousands of trolls, keeping them at bay with fire and weapons and whatever they possibly could. And they barely survived, but they made it through. They're running for 3 days straight or something like that. It was ridiculous. Just exhausted. I mean, I want to explore these areas and get the characters out there and meeting new NPCs NPCs, new bad guys. Let's see, but look at this. Okay, this is small world. We got up here. Here we go, Bryn Shander and the 10 Towns. We've got Icewind Dale and Kelvin's Cairn. Somewhere around here is the Battlehammer Dwarves. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure where. Maybe it was Ironmaster. Not sure, but they have their dwarven stronghold somewhere around Kelvin's Cairn. I can show you here down south. I mean, this map is huge. Let me expand on this. Yeah, look at that. So, I mean, we've got Star Mounts. We've got the High Forest. This is the land of the elves here. Silvery Moon. This is a huge, like, major city. Got Shining White. There's some Knights of Shining there, or something like that. I mean, well-known warriors, knights that are of good nature. Got Waterdeep, of course. Everybody has heard of Waterdeep, I hope. Daggerford, Misty Forest. I've heard of all these places. I've read about these places in D&D novels. Anybody who hasn't read any Dungeons and Dragons novels, you need to. It's just a world of fantasy and imagination. Kingdom of Many Arrows. That is a new kingdom, actually, that came about during the Dark Elf series. And, I mean, R.A. Salvatore wrote over 30 books just involving the Dark Elf Ranger, Dris Do'Urden, and his companions of the Hall. Kingdom of Many Arrows was actually created by Obold, King Obold of the Orcs, who wanted to just take over the land of the humans and the elves in this area. I mean, he got together over 20,000 orcs. Maybe more than that. I mean, it may have been 100,000. I'm not sure. I don't think anybody knows. But they marched out of the spine of the world and they attacked, and they probably could have won. Probably. I mean, the elves, the dwarves, the humans, they came together and they fought, but they were being attacked from other bad guys from other areas too. I mean, dragons, trolls from the Troll Moors. They were recruited by King Obold. They were attacking from south. It was ridiculous. The town of Nesme was destroyed, rebuilt now. Anyway, they ended up coming to a truce, and King Obold wanted to live in peace with the surrounding humans, dwarves, and elves. Of course, some humans, some of them, maybe 1% of them thought that it was even possible. Dris Do'Urden was one of them, gave them a chance, but it kind of didn't work out. Eventually, they started fighting again, but are still known as a kingdom of their own. Very interesting. So, as you can see, this is a huge map with many, many areas to explore. However, it is just a small portion of the Forgotten Realms map that I am about to show you here. So, here we are. Same area. We've got Icewind Dale and everything up here. We've got Neverwinter, Luskan, Waterdeep. You know, here's Lurkwood, here's Neverwinter. Here's the High Forest, the Star Mounts, Evermoors. Now, feast your eyes on this. Alright, here's the area right here that other map showed. Look at all this over here. I mean, we have this desert area of Netheril, a Shadow Sea. We've got Scimitar Spires. Some of these most of these I'm not familiar with, but along the Sword Coast here here's Baldur's Gate. You know, going down even further. Look at this. Look at this. Waterdeep, Baldur's Gate. There are some areas down here where they start getting into what's the word I'm looking for? Desert areas, and you have like sheiks and leaders like that, where you have caravans out in the desert. And here's Memnon down here. Oh, Kalimport. Now, this is another area that I've read about. This is actually where the legendary assassin Artemis Entreri was raised on the streets of Kalimport and became feared by all. I mean, anybody who hears his name is going to, just be scared. He was a deadly assassin who could not only kill you, but he can destroy your soul utterly with his soul-sucking dagger. So no afterlife for you. Let's see. As you can see, there is so much more. The Sea of Fallen Stars. When Regis the Halfling was reborn with his mind intact. That's another amazing story. The heroes of the Hall were actually reborn to join Drizzt, as Drizzt is a dark elf, so he can live centuries. His friends died, and he was living for years, decades without them, continuing his life and his adventures. And then the god Mieliki allowed them all to be reborn as children, as infants, and they actually lived their birth, their rebirth, and can remember it all because they had the mind of an adult, and they were going through this birth period as children and coming out of their mother's wombs and experience it all. Like, wow, what is going on? They were able to relive their lives, actually relive new lives as new people, new characters in the world, but they were each born in different areas of the land as different people by different parents, but they still had all the memories and knowledge and skills of their old lives. I mean, that is amazing. So they had all that knowledge, and now they were able to start over in a new body, a new life, in a time, long gone. It's just, it's crazy, but it was really cool. Anyway, you guys read these books; they're awesome. Anyway, here we go. So check it out. Huge map. So again, this is the small little area that actually this last year our characters only explored this little area right here. And this was the first map that I showed you right here, where there's tons and tons of adventure. So look at all this. I mean, look at this. You've got the Moonshae Isles. You've got, I don't even know what the heck this is, Chult. This huge island here, which is practically a continent. Kalimshan, and just, I don't even, Thay. Here we go. Thay, where the Red Wizards of Thay come from. I don't know if anybody has heard of the Red Wizards of Thay, but I hope they have. We've got the Dragonjaw Mountains. Those are well known in the novels of Dungeons and Dragons. Fen, Teflonith, Wizard's Reach. That sounds very familiar. Hagaran. Where is it? Where is it? I know there was... I'm not even sure where it's at. Somewhere around here. Oh, here we go. Oops. So this area is another part of the world that I read some novels about. Damara, Vasa. Castle Perilous was actually a creation of a Lich King who attacked this land and tried to take it over, but a paladin king um, gathered the people and the troops, and they attacked and they fought and they won, barely, but they won. Palachuk is a city or town of half-orcs, mainly. There's some humans, maybe even some full orcs, but mainly half-orcs that live in peace with the surrounding races. And Monastery of the Yellow Rose. This is a monastery that monks go to learn. This is a very, very well-known monastery of monks. Grandmaster Kane actually ascended to a spiritual realm. He's still alive. He's still training monks. He still lives at the Monastery of the Yellow Rose, but he is no longer a physical being. He is a spirit, and it's very, very powerful. He actually inhabited the body of a low-level monk in one of the novels, and through him was able to kill a dragon, or not a dragon, a giant, kill a giant with a punch. I don't even think it was a punch. I think it was a finger poke, something like that. But yeah, he's badass. Hillsfar, I don't know if anybody remembers any of the old D&D adventures. Zental Keep, Mythdraenor, Shadowdale. Yep, Flan. I don't know if anybody remembers the old Commodore 64 is what I started playing them on, I believe, and then onto the old IBM computers back in the late 80s, early 90s. But the D&D adventures that were on the old floppy disk drives, yeah, I put them on there. And they were turn-based RPGs, top-down view. They had some, let's see, what was it? A Pool of Radiance. Yes, that was based in this area. Those are also novels as well, which are some decent reads. Zental Keep, I believe, is usually at war with the Red Wizards of Thay. There's always something going on with these factions. They're crazy. Crazy, I can't keep up. So this is what I want to do this year. I want to explore more of the realm and get the characters a little more familiar with the other lands of the world. I mean, look at this. This is so much adventure. Maybe the characters will travel for whatever reason. Maybe they won't. Maybe we'll start new characters in different areas, which could be pretty fun, actually, and sounds like a good idea. So, those who are gaming with me this year, expect this. Expect some fun, expect some high adventure, and let's let our imaginations go wild and create some awesome characters and have some fun. Alright? Be prepared. It's coming up.